Namaskar and good morning to all. I, Dr. Gauri Dhingra, on behalf of entire Subodh fraternity, welcome you all to the 7-day International Faculty Development Program on emerging aspects of research methodology organized under the aegis of UGC Paramarsh scheme and IQAC Subodh. We keep moving forward, opening new doors and doing new things because we are curious and curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. Keeping up with the legacy of sharing and strengthening the overall ecosystem of research globally for our betterment tomorrow. Our college is adopting innovative methods this year, considering the difficult times of pandemic, leveraging the true potential of emerging technologies and digitalization, which, as we are speaking, have already made geography as history. With this, I would like to extend a warm welcome to our keynote speakers of 7-day program. Professor Ravindra Rena, Professor of Economics and International Affairs, Project Leader, NWU Business School, Northwest University, Mahikang, South Africa. Dr. P. Malyadri, ICSSR Senior Fellow Research Advisor in Commerce and Management, Center for Economics and Social Studies, Hyderabad. Professor Ibrahim Stephen Essien, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, Nigeria. Professor Dr. Rana Singh, CEO, IIIE, ex-Vice Chancellor, Sanskriti University, Mathura. Former Director, Institutional Effectiveness, University of Jazeera, Dubai, UAE. Dr. S.C. Jain, Chairperson, Department Research Committee, Computer Science and Engineering and Global Studies, MCA Rajasthan Technical University. Dr. C.R. Rene, Robin, M.E., PhD Professor and Dean, Innovation, Sai Ram Group of Institution, Chennai. Our esteemed patrons, Shri S.S. Botra Sahib, Honorary Secretary Subodh Shiksha Samiti, Shri Vinay Chand Daga Sahib, Convener of the College, Professor K.B. Sharma Ji, Principal SSN Subodh PG Autonomous College, Jaipur, Brand Ambassador of UGC Paramarsh Scheme, Rajasthan, Dr. Rajesh Kumar Yadav, Dean Academics and IQAC Coordinator, Dr. Manish Kaushik, Convener of the FDP, Professor Dr. Ripu Ranjan Sinha, Organizing Secretary of the FDP, and all organizing committee members. Now, I request all of you to stand up in honor of College Kulgeet.
ज्ञान पुंज परमार्थ भाव से अभिप्रेरित ज्ञान पुंज परमार्थ भाव से अभिप्रेरित वेद्या का अनुपम मालय, वेद्या का अनुपम मालय, हमारा सुबोध स्नातकोत्तर महाविद्यालय। जन जन में हो ज्ञान प्रसार, उत्तम हो आचार व्यवहार, और मानव के धर्म विस्तार, मानवता के कल्याण हिता, भारत की मंगल बेला पर भारत की पावन बेला सुबोध स्नातकोत्तर महाविद्यालय है अपना स्वर्णिम इतिहास, सदा शिष्टता और उल्लास, आधुनिक और से प्रमाणित नीतिगत मूल्यों में समाहित, अनुपम से उत्कंठा, अनुपम से उत्कंठा है हमारा सुबोध स्नातकोत्तर महाविद्यालय। ज्ञान पुंज परमार्थ भाव से अभिप्रेरित विद्या का अनुपम मालय, विद्या का अनुपम मालय हमारा सुबोध स्नातकोत्तर महाविद्यालय।
Okay, good position.
With his able leadership, selfless effort, steely determination, unflagging spirit, unwavering vision, sustained commitment, and great personal sacrifice, put Subodh College on the educational map of India at topmost position. Requesting our principal sir, Professor K.B. Sharma, to enlighten us with your thoughts.
Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to all. Research is to see what everybody else has seen and to think what nobody else has thought. It is about creating new knowledge. With these words, I welcome you all in this 7-day International Faculty Development Program on emerging aspects of research methodology, organized under the aegis of UGC Paramarsh Scheme and Internal Quality Assurance of Subodh PG College. The 7-day International Faculty Development Program will cover the topics like research methodology, research design, qualitative and quantitative research, hypothesis testing, tools and techniques of data collection and analysis, presentation and thesis, report, paper, dissertation writing, and emerging aspects of research methodology. Practical lab sessions on MATLAB, SPSS, and R would be taken for better and in-depth understanding of research. The following world-renowned research advisors will undertake different research sessions and enlighten us with their knowledge and experience in coming 7 days respectively. Professor Ravindra Rana, Professor of Economics and Internationalization Project Leader, NFW Business School, Northwest University, Mahikeng, South Africa. Professor P. Malayadri, ICSR Senior Fellow, Research Advisor in Commerce and Management Center for Economics and Social Studies, Hyderabad. Professor Iprem Stephen Erin, Ahmedo Bello University, Zaire, Nigeria. Professor Dr. Rana Singh, CEO, IIIE, ex-Vice Chancellor, Sanskriti University, Mathura, former Director, Institutional Effectiveness, University of Jazeera, Dubai, United Arab Emirates, Professor S.C. Jenser, Chairperson, Department Research Committee, Computer Science and Engineering and Board of Studies, MCA, Rajasthan Technical University, Kota. Professor C.R. Rene Robin, ME, PhD, Professor and Dean Innovation, Sairam Group of Institution, Chennai. I wholeheartedly welcome you all, sir. To illuminate this day, we have amongst our keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Ravindra Rena. He is a profound academician and distinguished scholar in economics, writer, editor, and advisor with over 27 years of teaching and research experience in Asia Pacific, Africa, and European continents. He has been an independent consultant and training expert. Professor Rana is currently working as a professor of economics and internationalization project leader at the NNWU Business School, Northwest University, South Africa. He is also serving as an Monarch Business School, Monarch University, Hagedorn, Switzerland. Professor Rana earned his PhD from the Department of Economics, Osmania University, Hyderabad, India, with an achievement of University Gold Medal for the best PhD candidates thesis in the field of economics, commerce, business management. He obtained his MA, MPhil, PhD from Osmania University and LLB from Kakatiya University, Warangal, India. He got prestigious award of the best researcher in 2011 from Namibia University of Science and Technology, and also recipient of the esteemed award Man of the Year 2012, which was bestowed upon him by the American Biographic Institute, ABI, United States of America. He wrote more than 10 books and published more than 120 articles in reputed national and international peer-reviewed journals. Besides, he has published more than 150 articles in newspapers, magazines, and websites and presented over 30 papers in the international and national conferences. He is editor-in-chief of many Scopus Index journals. He is also providing his services as an editorial board member for many reputed journals. He has been a keynote speaker for various national and international conferences in Europe, America, Africa, and Asian continents. As per the Social Science Research Network, USA, he is amongst the top 1.3% researchers in the world. Congratulations, sir. He has widely written in the areas of the economics of education, development, and economics and inclusive growth, globalization and higher education, microfinance, rural entrepreneurship, WTO, sustainable development, FDIs, development aid, etc. He has supervised PhDs, MPhils, and master's thesis and dissertation across the globe. He has served many academic and professional committees as a chairman and a panel member. He has also been the external examiner and moderators for masters and PhD of different universities of Africa, Europe, Asia, America, and Australia. He traveled to more than 30 countries in the world. It's my pleasure to have you with us, sir. Welcome on behalf of the Subodh PG College and Subodh Shiksha Samiti Management Trust of this college. I extend my heartfelt warm welcome to Sri S.S. Bothra Sahib, Secretary Subodh Shiksha Samiti, and Sri Vinay Chandji Daga sir, Convener of the College Management Committee. They have put in great efforts for the development of this college. and other institutions of the Subodh Shiksha Samiti. They have always given their possible support for the holistic development of the Subodh PG College. Before proceeding further, I want to speak some words regarding the Subodh College. So, SSN Subodh PG Autonomous College is a renowned name in the field of the academic institution across the India. We feel proud to state that we have more than 11,500 students on our rolls, and we provide undergraduate and postgraduate teaching in 23 subjects. The college is also developing fast as a research center with increasing facilities for research and student development. The college has been granted the status of research center for PhD degree in physics, computer science, EFM, and mathematics by the university, and in other subjects, the PhD program is also running at our college level. The college has been awarded the star status by the DBT Government of India and also ranks among the top 200 colleges in India as per the NIRF MHRD Government of India. The college was awarded the status of College of Excellence by University Grants Commission New Delhi for its academic environment marked by the global excellence. And only 15 colleges all over the India have received this status till today. The college has been designated as a model college by Government of Rajasthan, Jaipur, and it has also been awarded the status of College with Potential for Excellence twice by University Grants Commission New Delhi. Our college has obtained first rank within the category A for the session 2020-21 in MCA program by Rajasthan Technical University Kota on the basis of quality index value QIV score of 894 out of 1000. And Subodh PG College got the third All India rank and received the Grand Jury Award by Education World Magazine for 2020-21 session. With these words, I once again welcome eminent speakers and participants of this international FDB from India and abroad, and especially Professor Raina, and extend my best wishes to the organizing committee for the successful conduction of the program. Jai Jinesh, Jai Bharat. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, with your kind words. Learning is a virtue and an asset. It not only extends the methods of recognition and improves knowledge, but also enriches behavioral and spiritual aspects. Our endeavor has been contributing to higher education not only by enabling students to get a degree, but also by developing in them the ability to think creatively and articulate their thoughts with confidence and conviction. Now sharing glimpses of Subodh institution by video.
नमोकार मंत्र है न्यारा, इसने लाखों को तारा।
उसने लाखों को तारा।
इस महामंत्र का जाप करो, भवजल से मिले किनारा। नमो अरिहंताणम, नमो सिद्धाणम, नमो आयर्याणम, नमो उवछायाणम, नमो लोए सव्वसाहुणम। ईसो
Now, I request Dr. Manish Kaushik, convener of this international FDP, to give introduction of the whole program.
Good morning, all of you. Research plays an important role in development of society by increasing the quantum of knowledge and solving crucial problems. To understand what research methods are about, it is useful to place them into a larger context of knowledge. What is knowledge? There is no universally agreed definition of knowledge, but for the purpose of this text, knowledge is defined as information believed to be true and reliable. Research is conducted in many fields. Why research methods are important? The answer is that understanding research methods influences what you know by offering you a systematic way to access and gain knowledge. Understanding research methods provide you with practical skills that allow you to produce and to consume findings, facts, information with the assurance that it was arrived at systematically. Research methods outline the systematic process, frameworks, and steps a person uses to conduct research. Research methods identify the systematic steps used by scholars to gather data, analyze it, and reach findings and a conclusion used to answer a research question. Research methodology is necessary in every field of higher education. The need for organizing international faculty development program is further intensified due to wide use of applications and appropriate research method, quantitative techniques, and computer software packages for objective and qualitative research. The present international FDP will make an attempt to provide some training so that the quality of research in the region may be improved. FDP aims to provide a platform to learn about research paper writing and hands-on using scientific tools of computing and offer guidance for preparing journal articles, reports in a scientific structure and organized manner with necessary scientific computing. The objectives of international FDP are to make participants aware about latest trends of research methods and tools, to enable participants define research problem, develop and approach to solve research problem, and selection of suitable research design, to make participants understand formulation and testing of hypotheses, to understand appropriateness of statistical software packages for analyzing research data, to enable participants to understand report writing and writing research proposals. The major course content to be covered in the 7-day International Faculty Development Program on emerging aspects of research methodology are Introduction to Research and Development of Research Design, Strategic Maneuver for Writing and Publishing High Quality Articles in Top in-text international journals, Elements and Importance of Research Ethics, Research Methodologies, Technology Perspectives, Blockchain, a technology revolution for smart transactions, Research on sustainable development. The FDP is interdisciplinary and it is open to faculty members engaged in science, social science, engineering and other disciplines, and for PhD and PG students of college, institutes, research centers and university. Doing PhD is an incredibly daunting task. During PhD, researchers are going to face some challenges. With this international faculty development program, we are providing knowledge about various mechanisms and techniques for accomplishment of PhD programs successfully. We are organizing international faculty programs for betterment of faculties, PhD student, research scholar, doing research in various colleges, institutions, research center and universities across India and rest of the world. Till now, we have 2,582 registered participants across the country and from different countries like Sri Lanka, UAE, UK, USA, South Africa, Nigeria participating in this program. On behalf of SS Jain Subodh PG College, we welcome you all in this mega virtual international faculty development program on emerging aspects of research methodology. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for informing us about the program. We feel honored to have with us Professor Ravindra Rena, Professor of Economics and Internationalization, Project Leader, NWU, Business School, Northwest University, Mahikang, South Africa, as today's guest speaker. Sir, you have made all of us proud of your distinguished work in numerous capacities. I request you to enlighten us with your expert knowledge.
Good morning, colleagues. Can you able to hear me? Good
Yes,
morning,
sir.
everyone.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, definitely. We are hearing you.
That's fine. Good morning, Prem Namaskar, Namaste, Vanakkam, and probably different other salutations. Probably from South Africa, we say normally like Savona, and so I would like to thank the SS Jain Postgraduate College, SS Jain Subodh Postgraduate College, Jaipur, Rajasthan, India, for inviting me for this wonderful international faculty development program. I also would like to thank Professor Dr. KB Sharmaji, the principal of the college, and Professor Ripu Ranjan Sinha, the organizing secretary of this particular event, and Dr. Gauri Dhingra, and Dr. Manish Kaushik, and Dr. Vishal Gautam, and all other colleagues who are organizing and who took a lot of efforts to bring probably more than 2,500 people across the country and across the globe for this event. I also must appreciate the efforts probably exerted in organizing this event in order to promote the research culture among our scholars, PhD students, master students, and also emerging researchers in our country and across the globe. So I would like to touch upon some of the key issues here. And the key issues is that the first thing is why do we do the research? What made us to probably put all our efforts, our mind, soul, and heart together to do the research? So somebody will say that I would like to get my master's degree or I would like to get my PhD degree. And somebody else would like to state that probably I would like to have some intellectual satisfaction. So the reasons could be many. And some people will say that PhD is nothing but a permanent head damage. But here we must be cognizant that it's not a permanent head damage, ladies and gentlemen. It is a permanent head development. So we need to probably, out of the box, we need to think about. A lot of professors, they may comment, they may think about that PhD is nothing but a permanent head damage, which is not the case. So we need to probably see on the other side of the coin, it is like a permanent head development. We have seen so many renowned professors from India, those who are working in top university like Harvard. Professor Nitin Ora, who happened to be a graduate, did his BTech at IIT Mumbai, and he sailed through to a level where he became the first dean, a non-white dean of Harvard University Business School. And maybe there is another, his term comes to an end, and then probably another Indian gentleman, Indian origin gentleman, is going to take over from probably this month onwards, or January 2021 onwards. So what I'm saying is that we have great scholars like Amartya Kumar Sen, and we have got so many other probably professors and renowned researchers from India that are working in different parts of the world. So if we look at that dynamism, and one can think that it is not a permanent head damage, but it's a permanent development. It's not only bringing a joy for an individual who is putting efforts, who is putting his life actually, because life is everything. And whatever research that you do, you are sharing or you are losing a part of your life to do that. Then why do we do it? There's a saying that, ladies and gentlemen, probably as Professor Sharmaji mentioned, that research is something we all look at, in a one particular framework and one particular picture. But when we look at the same picture as researchers, PhD students or master students, everybody will begin to think differently. And if we say like there is a glass which is half empty, somebody will say half empty, somebody will say half full. So perspectives are different. So meaning that we have researchers, they do the research for different purposes. Somebody would like to publish an article, and so that they would have a large number of citations. Now, for instance, our Nobel laureate Amartya Kumar Sen, he has got 354,000 citations. So probably it's a kind of phenomenal record. One can say that. There could be other researchers may have more than that citation, but an Indian origin, Indian-born economist who happened to be the first Asian economist to receive the Nobel Prize in 1998 has got about 354,000 citations. So meaning that is 87, 88 years old. Ladies and gentlemen, one day or the other day, we are all going to leave this world. It could be another 50 to 70 years down the line, the people who are sharing this platform, none of us going to be alive. If I say this harsh reality, many of us, we don't like it, but that is the truth. So when we leave this world, our research is the one which made us to alive and live again and again and again. So there is a saying that, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to share it with you, that a scholar is known in the world, but a leader is known only in his domain, in his geographical jurisdiction, or in his country, is in territorial boundaries. So meaning that we have got Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. If you go to, let's say, Mali or Burkina Faso or Liberia or Somalia, and people, they may not know him as a leader, as a Prime Minister of India. And if I ask Cyril Ramaphosa, the President of South Africa, where I'm sitting here, and if I come to India and ask in Telangana state or in Rajasthan state or in Odisha state, people, they may not know who is the President of South Africa. But if I ask the same question to most of the participants here, most of the students here, that who is the probably great physics researcher, and who is the chemistry researcher, or who is the researcher probably made significant contributions for the genetical engineering, or maybe biological engineering or biomedical engineering, and people, they know it. For instance, ladies and gentlemen, we know that Einstein, considered to be one of the great minds or one of the greatest intellectuals of 20th century. If I ask the same question in these countries that I referred, do you know Einstein? Probably many of them, they would say, yes, we know. But if we ask the same leader that, do you know this leader, so and so, they may not know it. So we got leaders like, we have Sarpanch at the village level in Indian setup. We got Mandal president. at a taluka level or probably some kind of regional level. We got Jilla Parishad chairmen. We have got MLAs, member of legislative assemblies. We got MLCs, member of legislative council. We got MPs, member of parliament of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. And we got ward councillors and probably mayoral committee members and so on and so forth, the city council members. So if we ask a MLA or MP from Andhra Pradesh or Telangana state of India, and ask in Jharkhand state, do you know this MP or this? Do you know this MLA? Probably they may not be knowing. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to emphasize here that a leader is known in his country, but the scholar is known in the world. We know Shakespeare, who died hundreds of years ago. We remember still Einstein and his discoveries and his inventions, although he died probably more than 70 years ago. So that is the kind of synergy, that is the kind of probably wisdom one has to attach to this kind of research. It's not the research that you do to get your bachelor's degree or a master's degree or a PhD degree or writing an article, but it's more than that. So one day or the other day, as I said, we all will be living, but somebody after 50 or 150 years later, somebody will quote you, so and so, Ripu Ranjan Sinha did this study on information and communication technologies. So meaning that they are making you alive. Now, with that note, ladies and gentlemen, those who are from economics, we remember Adam Smith, who is considered to be the father of economics. We remember James Keynes, John Maynard Keynes, who is considered to be the modern father of economics. They have died a long time back. We remember David Ricardo, we remember Joseph Schumpeter, and the list goes on, ladies and gentlemen. So that is why research has become one of the powerful instruments. And if you look at the world probably 2000 years ago, ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing much in terms of science, in terms of technology, in terms of innovations. What we had 2000 years ago, what we had today after 2020, 21 years later, we have achieved a tremendous kind of amount of probably knowledge and engineering, science and technology related aspects and the developments in these fields, ladies and gentlemen. So this is a continuous search for the real. And the continuous search, we begin to think, we begin to question ourselves, we begin to probably explore different things, different options, and then we move on. So this is what is about research. Now let us try to take another item, important item, that how many Nobel Prizes that India has got so far. One can question this. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know that we got Nobel Prizes on different occasions. We know that Nobel Prize is considered to be one of the highest paid prize in the world until today, which gives probably about $1.7 million US. So $1.7 million US, there are some CEOs of multinational companies. They perhaps get even $200 to $500 million as their annual package. So 1.7 million seems to be a small figure, but still we consider that is one of the highest paid academic as well as scientific research related prize. So if we take the Nobel Prize in Alfred Nobel, who on his foundation, they started this Nobel Prize in 1901, exactly about 120 years ago. Now, the first person who received the Nobel Prize from India is none other than Rabindranath Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore, for his Gitanjali book, he got in literature, renowned poet, and we all know Rabindranath Tagore ji, and he got the Nobel Prize in 1913. That was the first Nobel Prize we received. Immediately after 12 years, the Nobel Prize has started. Then after that, 1930, Sir C.V. Raman, we study about Raman effect, that Sir C.V. Raman is the one who got the Nobel Prize in 1930. Probably that could be the only Nobel Prize that we received in science and technology and developments from Indian side, ladies and gentlemen. The reason is that, I'm going to explain to you. So then, and after 1930, we got another Nobel Prize we received in 1968 by Hargobind Khurana. Hargobind Khurana probably might have born before the partition of India and Pakistan. He might have born somewhere in the current Pakistani area. So he moved to USA, he did his research, and then he became a US national or US citizen, and he received the Nobel Prize. So the controversy arises here that whether the Hargobind Khurana is an Indian, received the Nobel Prize. When he received the Nobel Prize, was he an Indian or was he an American? So this is the kind of controversy. We all know that, and we're not going to go into the details of that. So after 1968, then the next Nobel Prize we received for peace and international understanding. It's a different category. It's not related to research, and that is for Mother Teresa in 1979. So Mother Teresa Agnes Goksha Bojakshu, who born and brought up in Yugoslavia and come to our country and devoted her life for our people and probably improving the welfare of a lot of people living in Bengal and different parts of the country and also different parts of the world. So for her exemplary contributions, she received the Nobel Prize, and she was basically an Indian that time. So that is another Nobel Prize we received in 1979. Then 1983, we got Chandrasekhar Subramanian, another Nobel Prize in physics we received, but it's also while he was working in other part of the world. Then we have got a Nobel Prize in 1998, as I indicated to you just now, Professor Amartya Kumar Sen, who was born and brought up Bengal, West Bengal, and then he moved to, he's a global citizen obviously, and he received the Nobel Prize in 1998, and he's the first economist to receive the Nobel Prize. But now can we say that is Chandrasekhar Subramanian or probably Amartya Kumar Sen are the Indians, or they receive the Nobel Prize while they are holding other country nationality? Then thereafter, ladies and gentlemen, the other Nobel Prize that we received was probably we have Venkatraman and Ramakrishnan Venkatraman, chemistry professor who born and brought up in Chennai, Tamil Nadu area, and he got the Nobel Prize while he was holding the nationality of other developed country. And then we have a Nobel Prize that recently received probably a couple of years ago by Professor, we have Abhijit Banerjee and his wife, so Esther Duflo. So they received the Nobel Prize, and they are still holding the nationality of USA. And then Kailash Satyarthi also received in 2014 a Nobel Prize in International Peace and Understanding. So this is a kind of perspective I'd like to give here. So they might have exerted a tremendous amount of effort to receive this recognition and to receive this prestigious award. And the research is something that you cannot plan, you cannot execute for a year, for a month, for a day. It is a continuous process. It is a continuous process where a researcher and the research cannot be de-linked. It's not a 1 day or 1 month or 1 year or 5 years kind of agenda. So it is a continuous process, and researcher has to keep on engaged. We do have a lot of professors who were born and brought up and probably raised in India and settled in different parts of the world, and also made immense contributions not only to India but also to the rest of the world. So that is noteworthy. That is the beauty of research, as Professor Sharmaji also rightly pointed out, and other colleagues also rightly pointed out the importance of research. And it is not only the knowledge or the collection of information, but it is more than that. It is the wisdom, it is the knowledge sharing, it is the knowledge creation and knowledge contribution or wisdom contribution to this globe, ladies and gentlemen. And if we go back to the Aryabhatta's zero, we go back to Manusmriti, we go back to the history, probably India has contributed greatly for the science, medicine, and other aspects of engineering and so on, and mathematics and so on and so forth. Now, if we ask probably in UK or in USA, the people of those countries, even Europe, they would love to get treated by an Indian doctor. So this is the kind of reputation that the Indian scientists and Indian scholars, they have established across the globe, that they are trustworthy and they know what they are doing. So this is what all comes through the research, ladies and gentlemen. Now here, in the interest of time, I don't know how much time that I have. In the interest of time, I would like to touch upon a few important aspects here. There are fellow colleagues like Professor Malayadri is going to speak about the publication in top-rated journals or high-impact factor journals. And other colleagues are going to speak on different aspects like blockchain, and they're also going to touch upon some of the aspects of quantitative, qualitative research techniques, and maybe econometric views, E-views, and SPSS, and R-square, and plenty of other resources or softwares. So I'm going to touch upon, if we have got IITs here, Indian Institute of Technologies and Indian Institute of Management institutions. For the past few years, maybe for the past 10 years down the line, there are a lot of institutions that are being started by the government of India, MHRD, Ministry of Human Resource and Development. And now we consider still the IITs and IIMs are the two eyes of India. And they are considered to be the prestigious institutions, not only in India, but also the rest of the world. Because most of the students who come from those institutions, they are the one who became the CEOs and who became the top probably chief executives and other top cream of multinational companies and different universities and different business schools across the globe. So it is also an important aspect that the people who are rejected by those institutions, they are the one who go to Harvard University and Stanford University, Massachusetts University, and Princeton University, and so on and so forth. So you can imagine the dynamics that we have a high and a tough competition. The way there we look at 100% mark, and 90 or 80% mark will be looked at probably Harvard and other universities, as I mentioned. So this is the kind of synergy that we have. We do have IITs and IIMs, but when we look at the international global university rankings, unfortunately, India is always nowhere in the top 500 ranking, nowhere in the top 200 or 300 ranking. So because of the fact that we are not doing the proper research. Ladies and gentlemen, there are about 25 to 28 different factors, that variables that they take to construct the international ranking, and maybe they look at the Nobel Prize winners, and as I said, probably C.V. Ramanji and maybe these Peace Prize winners, a couple of people, they are the only people we got Nobel Prize, but the rest of the people we do not have Nobel Prize because they are not Indians anymore. So this is the kind of argument here. Now, how many of us, while we are working in India, could able to accomplish or get a Nobel Prize? I was visiting Presidency College, Chennai, where Sir C.V. Raman was studied and he did the research. That is the club. Even Subramanian Chandrasekhar also hailed from the same college. So that is the only college in India, ladies and gentlemen, received the probably Nobel Prizes. And we do have so many prestigious institutions, as I was telling you about. There are so many other universities. We got about 1,000 universities in India, ladies and gentlemen, and we got plus minus about 48 to 50,000 colleges. Some of the colleges are much bigger than the universities in South Africa, universities in USA, universities in different European countries, ladies and gentlemen. So you see we got more than 220 million students who are studying in different probably fields and different levels. So we have a bigger market, but unfortunately our Indian institutions, all these 1,000 universities and all these 400 probably close to 50,000 colleges, they're not ranked well even in the top 1,000, top 2,000. If you look at the top 20 rankings for the past 20 years, ladies and gentlemen, you can only see Harvard, MIT, Stanford, Princeton, Yale, and Oxford, and probably Cambridge and so on. And we cannot able to, we have IITs, IIT Ahmedabad, or sorry, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Mumbai, IIT Delhi, and so on and so forth. They've never been ranked among the top 100 institutions across the globe. So that is the point we need to look at. The reason is that, as I was saying, when they are trying to create this ranking, they look at the Nobel laureates, they look at the citations of the faculty members working at your respective colleges. They look at the scientific contributions, the number of articles that you have written in Scopus Index or Web of Science, Thomson Reuters, ISI, International Scientific Institute, indexed journals, etc. So this is the kind of probably frame where we are unable to reach our targets. In South Africa, if I publish an article in a Scopus Index journal, my university gets about 5.5 lakh rupees to 7 lakh rupees. Government of South Africa gives to my university, not to me directly. And a portion of that, probably about 20% of that, the university gives to me. And that money I can able to use for attending any conferences, attending any kind of events or research related matters that I can utilize that fund. But in India, how many universities or how many colleges are able to give that? So this is the kind of incentive where they are trying to promote the research culture. Therefore, we uplift the research. And then that's how we also promote the probably the research culture and also increase the visibility, international standing, and international ranking. Now, that is why, ladies and gentlemen, the university where I am working, Northwest University, is ranked much ahead of many of our IITs and IIMs. Why? It is not that Northwest University is much greater than our IITs and IIMs. Just that we value the research. Just that we care and we try to promote, we try to encourage the research. But we don't encourage if a private college person, he and she has to write an article, putting a lot of effort. Writing an article is not an easy job. You all know, ladies and gentlemen. Now, it is like digging the mountain or digging the hill in order to find a small stone. A stone can be a diamond. So meaning that you do a lot of hard work, and at the end of the day, you want to publish your article, and there are journals that are waiting for you. They ask you to pay the money. Ladies and gentlemen, there are journals, they start asking a page fee or publication fees, which is probably about maybe $200 to even $2,000. That's the kind of range. A colleague who is working in a private institution in Jaipur or in Odisha or in any part of India don't even earn $1,000 per month. And the person who doesn't earn $1,000, how do we expect him to pay a $1,000 page fee and publish his article? That is one of the key problems here. So we do have a lot of challenges, and we see a professor job is to teach. And that's all we think. Teach, teach, and teach. Nothing else. Here in our university, or probably across the globe, in other parts of the world, a professor not only teaches, teaching is only certain percentage. Let's say about 35 to 40% is your teaching profession. Research is another 35%. Then academic administration and management, you got about 10%. You got community engagement and stakeholder relationship, you got another 10 or 15%. This is how we try to frame. In order to measure my performance, my bosses here, they look at these 4 areas, whether I comply, whether I could able to excel, whether I contributed in not only teaching, research and innovation, academic management, probably administration side, and community engagement side. We don't look at that in Indian side. So we need to have a balanced kind of approach. It's not one side that we either teach throughout our life, 30, 40 years down the line, we teach and we teach, we retire, we die, we leave this world. Nobody knows that you are such a famous teacher, then only your students, they will think that, okay, that professor, that teacher was a great teacher. Because we always have 4 categories of teachers that an ordinary teacher tells, a good teacher explains, a better teacher demonstrates, and the best teacher inspires. So when the teacher inspires his students, that is only for one generation, then it's closed. Nobody remembers the teacher. But if you are a researcher, as I was telling you before, that when you write an article which is absolutely could able to add some value to the research world and new literature, and then that would make you alive. So ladies and gentlemen, I think if you remember the Marie Curie is the only lady until now, she got 2 Nobel Prizes in 1918 and probably 1921-22. She got Nobel Prize in physics, she got Nobel Prize in chemistry. So when she was doing her master's degree, her supervisor used to scold her and see her, what kind of rubbish work that you have done. This is nonsense. I don't accept this. So that is the kind of level that she comes from. And you can imagine that if Marie Curie could able to achieve 2 Nobel Prizes, why can't we do that? So this is the kind of, so motivation from your institution, from the government, will not be there, ladies and gentlemen. We must accept the fact, and we should always think that it's more than that. That is why John F. Kennedy, the former American president, once said that it is don't ask the government what the government can give you, but ask yourself what you can give to the government. So you are researchers sitting here, probably in different corners, and then you ask yourself, portion of your life when you are working on the research, that how you can contribute, how you can add value. You got numerous fields. You got supply chain management, you got marketing, you got finance, you got accounting, you got economics, business management, research, HR, and the list goes on, ICT technologies, and so on and so forth, engineering. So in any field, there are multiple problems. The problems, we got the population of 7.8 billion people living in this planet. Our problems are more than 7.8 billion people, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you as a human being, you may feel sometimes headache, you may feel sometimes stomach ache, you may feel eye ache or earache or different problems. So you as an individual could have more than 20 or 30 different problems, but you can multiply with the population that we are having here. It's not only the population side, it is an organization side, it is also environment side. And so the problems are multiple. You need to identify the problem in such a manner that nobody has done that small contribution. Even if it is a minute contribution that you do, that is, nobody has done that before. So that is what you can get a recognition. When Einstein was alive, nobody thought that he could be such a great scientist. In fact, after he passed away, he became more popular than while he was present. So meaning that the research that you do, while you are doing, you may be having a lifespan of about 70 or 80 years down the line. So 80 years is only a small amount of period. But if we are remembering Adam Smith, who died more than 250 years ago, so the lifespan of Adam Smith is more after his death because of his research works, because of his Wealth of Nations as a book that he has written, and we still use that as a Bible for the economic research. So these are the various aspects that we can look at. So research is something, a different phenomena, and where it needs a lot of your energy, lot of your time, and lot of your skill. And that's how you need to, sometimes people, they say that a researcher is somebody is like a saint in our Indian setup. A saint is, he doesn't smile, he doesn't laugh, he doesn't talk to the people, he will isolate himself, and then he will live in his own world. So a researcher is like that. But I don't want you in this modern world to live like that. While you are having a balanced life, you can have a social life, but you can also try to do some credible research, which will always bring a name for you, for your institution, for the country, and for the globe in general. So these are some of the aspects I would like to touch upon, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I also would like to touch upon, just to, in the interest of time, I do not know how much time did I have. I would like to give you some probably a few important aspects of research design. Now, what is the research design here? A research design is a kind of framework where it provides a set of tools for us to how to collect the data and how to analyze the data. That is basically research design is all about. Now we have a research design, whether you go to, let's say, Malawi, or whether you go to Botswana, and whether you go to America or France or maybe UK, Germany, and so on. Wherever you go, it is the standard definition. There would be a little bit of change here and there, but this is the kind of standard definition of framework. So now research design is the fundamental aspect for us to think about, plan about, and execute our research. While doing the research, we always try to look at our problem statement. Ladies and gentlemen, I've seen so many students, 29 years of my experience across different parts of the world, that many people, they fail to identify the problem. That's the problem that we have. They don't know what the problem is about. They try to give a background. They try to give a kind of introduction to the problem. They try to give a probably something else which is not really pinpointing the problem. So that is what normally happens. We have got, well, I was a student probably 30 years ago. We do not have computers. I have seen MS-DOS 32 megabytes kind of box. That is the kind of computer that I've seen while I was doing my master's. And many of you sitting here, you're not lucky. Many of you were born with the computers, BBC, born before computer, that we are all BBC people. Whereas you are born with computers, with smartphones. You're much lucky. You can just open your Google and you can try to search any information and you can get just in your palm right now. We didn't have the luxury, ladies and gentlemen. So now the challenge here is that with this Internet of Things and with this global internet revolution, that research become relatively easier. But it's not a copy-paste business, ladies and gentlemen. So plagiarism is considered as one of the serious dishonesty, academic dishonesty, and serious crime in academia, ladies and gentlemen. So if we look at that in Indian scenario, that we need to be very, very careful that in many institutions they have to use Turnitin, they have to use Authentic, they have to use many other softwares to check the similarity index. Whether we copy straightforward, whether we really worked with our mind or not, that needs to be. So these are some of the areas where we are lagging behind. So we need to promote, we need to change the research culture. We do have 1,000 vice chancellors sitting with different universities. So they need to promote the research culture. Some of them are really great scientists, great leaders that we have. But when it comes to, they got 2 or 3 years time, they try to see how to manage their life, how to manage their position during their tenure. They don't bother about the research. They don't bother about anything else. So that is a sad part of the structure that we developed. So we need to change that structure. And everybody, every human being, whether they are a student, whether they are assistant professor or associate professor or a lecturer, senior lecturer or a professor or a director, dean, and everybody is equally important. Nobody is greater than nobody, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody can contribute for the research development. So we have got probably, I have to conclude that maybe we can just open up the session for discussions or maybe interactive sessions because of interest of time. That I would like to state that we have so much to talk about research design. We have got the cross-sectional, we got experimental, we got the longitudinal, we got probably case study and comparative, different types of research designs that we have. And we also have longitudinal side, time series analysis, particularly in economics and statistics. We look at the time series analysis, where we take one variable and we take multiple periods and we try to see how over a period of time the GDP, gross domestic product, or the unemployment or the poverty is being changed probably 50, 70, 73, 74 years of Indian independence. We can look at that. And we can also look at that in a panel data approach is one of the approaches, key approaches that many of the researchers are beginning to use that. So you can have different periods and different. There was a study that I was following recently, which says in America, more than 70 years they try to track the individuals. They have collected more than 1,000 people, and they say that when they are in their teenage, 13 to 19, 20 years age, what they were doing, what were their perspectives, how they think about the life, and so on and so forth. And after 10 years, again, they contacted the same individuals. So those people who are teenagers sometime back in the early 1900, they become, some of them are plumbers, some of them are electricians, and maybe one or two become president of USA, and so on and so forth. So, and the same people, they've been tracked for almost 60, 70 years later. Many of them are died, those who are alive, and then they conducted a study that they identify that what is the important thing that you have seen in your life. And they mentioned simply that it is a relationship. It is a strong relationship that you build up with your colleagues, with your family, with your probably society, and try to make yourself happy, and you try to contribute immensely without expecting anything. So this is the kind of study that has been conducted over a period of time. So in the interest of time, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to conclude by stating again, thank you very much for providing me this great opportunity to share some of my views on this wonderful platform. And I should thank again Professor K.B. Sharmaji, the principal of Subodh Postgraduate Autonomous College, Jaipur, and also the other colleagues, Ripu ji and Vishal Kaushik and Vishal Gautam and Manish Kaushik and Gauri ji, Dr. Gauri ji. And thank you one and all. Thank you also the participants for listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I open the session for question answer round. All the participants are requested to put forth their queries and doubt regarding the subject matter of the FDP. The queries will be quenched by Professor Sir. Anyone amongst us can also put their questions and come on stage. So one question is, what is exploratory research? One person is asking, what is exploratory research?
Okay, Gauriji, should I take the question, or should we collect one or two questions and I give the summary?
You take the questions, thereafter you give the summary.
Okay. Well, exploratory research is for social scientists, basically, that for scientists, those who come from physics and chemistry and other science background, they have got laboratories to test, and then they try to see whether a particular test is valid, whether particular test results can be acceptable or not. But in social science research, an exploratory research is something that you try to explore the means and ways upon which you try to understand whether a particular set of tools that you are using. Yes, so I think, am I audible? And
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Sharmaji, I think Sharmaji was about to say something. Yes. So I was trying to tell you that exploratory research is something that you as a social science researcher, for you, the society is the laboratory. You don't have a fixed four walls. So you just try to go and you try to use your instruments, and you use your probably data instruments like you have questionnaires, or you have got probably the data collecting tools. Then you try to test and you try to explore. Now, for instance, the pandemic that we've been facing, the global coronavirus pandemic, and when we do the research, you have to explore, you have to meet in such a way that maybe you can contact the people you cannot contact face to face, that become unethical nowadays. Then you can contact maybe telephonically or by online, and then you try to see how many people that they could able to respond to your question in a manner that you could able to understand. And if there is any probably any other issues that you face in collecting the data with your maybe then you can able to modify your questions, and you can able to improve your questions, and then you try to explore, and you obtain the data. So that is basically, I would like to probably give you a summary explanation of the exploratory research. And if you have any other questions, you please welcome to approach.
Another question is from Shivangi Kumari. Her question is, what is the basic elements that we need to keep in mind while framing research design?
Well, that is a very good question, Shivangi. That usually I was telling about the research problem. A research problem plays a vital role. For us human beings, a heart is the important component. Of course, every part of our body is important for us, but especially heart, we consider that it is a vital organ which pumps the blood and circulate to the entire body. So like that, your research problem is like a heart for you. And when you take care of your heart, you can take care of many things. So meaning that as part of the research design, you need to understand that the research problem is the important aspect of your research. If you design, that is why we say in research methodology, if you define your problem properly, half of your problem is already solved. So in the research design, you define your problem, you state it clearly. In the problem statement, you state it clearly, 1, 2, 3, 4. And once you clearly describe your problem, then you could able to, you have a direction. In a direction that you could able to set your research questions, you can develop your hypothesis, and you can also try to gather the literature pertaining to that, and you develop the methodology based upon those questions and the hypothesis, and then you try to have the smooth research process where you can accomplish your research objectives. I hope I answered the question.
Yes, sir. Next question is, difference between problem statement and statement of problem raised by Sabita.
Well, Savita ji, I think you see, we use literature review and review of literature, so it's something of that nature. And if we look at that problem statement and statement of the problem, normally we say the same thing by and large with a little bit of difference. So as I was telling you that problem statement, many of us, we fail to give the problem statement. Some people, they write a problem statement in about 3 to 5 pages without even mentioning anything about the problem. So it's not a problem actually. It is only a background to the problem. It is only introduction to the problem. So we need to, if you get a headache, then you have to say that I got a headache. You cannot say that I got a headache like this, rotating somewhere and rotating so many times, and then you are saying the end problem. So you have to have a crystal clear statement where you can define the problem. This is the problem that I have. This is what I'm going to do in order to address the problem. This is the method that I would like to adopt so that my problem can be easily addressed and easily, I can solve the problem. And if a torch is not working, let's say, then what is the problem? The batteries are died off and we need to replace the battery, or is there any technical errors? We just need to identify and then need to fix the problem. So that is why basically we do have a lot of PhD students. Even I was attending one PhD Viva last week. I don't want to tell about that university in Tamil Nadu state here, but people, they could able to not define the problem properly. There is no correlation between the findings and the objectives that they have. So there are a lot of mess up. That is why we need to have the problem statement and statement of the problem well defined, so that we can do the research in a better manner. But I think to address that question, then by and large they look alike.
By you, sir. So another question is, how do we explore the scope of career development for a PhD scholar from India and South Africa?
Well, that's a good question. To tell you, to touch upon some of the important aspects. Yes, one can develop. There are a lot of students from India. They've been studying in physics, in chemistry, in pharmacy, in economics, in geography, in environmental sciences. Many other aspects that they have been studying here. So there are some students who come from India. They were doing their masters and PhD. After the PhD, they completed their postdoctoral fellowship. And after that, then become senior lecturers, then become associate professors and professors also. So few of the guys. So there's tremendous opportunities in South Africa. We got 26 universities in South Africa, and out of 26 universities, we don't have a private university as such. Unlike India, we got probably close to maybe 350, 400 private universities, but we don't have private universities in South Africa. All those are central universities, are federal universities. But if somebody would like to do any kind of exploration where they are interested to study, they welcome to approach. Most of the application process will go through online, and they can apply. If they are selected, they can come, they can study here. That's wonderful. There's no problem. And there are career opportunities. So once you complete the PhD, there would be some scholarships that you may have within the government level, within the some of the funding institutions like NRF, National Research Foundation. Also, if you got a very solid research proposal, they will try to provide the funding, necessary funding for you to complete your research. So there are a lot of opportunities. And even I got postdoc students from Nigeria and maybe from Zimbabwe. Probably, they all would try to explore. They try to have the career opportunities as well. And maybe you're welcome, and you can explore. If you need any suggestions, you can get my details. You write my name in the Google, you can get my phone number, my cell number, my email address. Everything is available. You can contact me if you need any further guidance. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All of them are asking your number, email address, as you said. So it would be
Well,
easily available through Gmail, through Google. If you
yeah,
want to fetch, you just write his name. You will get all the details, right?
that's right. So I'm an open secret, ladies and gentlemen. I think you don't need to ask anybody or Subodh College, Gauriji or Ripuji to get my telephone number. You just write my name. As long as you write my name correctly in the Google search engine, in few seconds you will get everything about me.
Sir is also available on LinkedIn. Okay, you can connect there itself.
But don't flood with a lot of messages. I'm also one human being like you, and I got also 24 hours like you, and so
Yes.
I can always try to assist the people. If you want me to have any Zoom session to give more details on that, I would be happy to do that.
Kindly put research related questions only, right? And so next question is, the most suitable research technique a person can use in social science. A statistical technique he's asking for social science
Well,
research.
well, I think we do have numerous techniques that keep coming for the past few years. Now, with the advent of these software that we have, I think structural equation modeling would be, one of the techniques that one can use. People are using regression and ARDL techniques and so on and so forth. But I think SEM modeling, structural equation modeling, would be one of the tools that they can use.
Next question is by Aditi Acharya. Why quantitative research is said to be more conclusive than qualitative research?
Well, that's a very beautiful question, Aditi. I think you see that is the kind of notion or a resentment that is developed among the researchers across the. If somebody knows econometrics, somebody knows statistics, and somebody knows mathematics, and they think that they are better than the people those who do not know these things. And somebody who knows SPSS or somebody who knows, let's say, E views, econometric views, or Mathematica, Statistica, R square, and data carpentry, and the list goes on. There are plenty of software, PLS, structural equation modeling, and so on. So, to my understanding, as an economist and a professor of economics, what I would suggest is that it is only the perspective of an individual, that there is no there is no measurement where we can try to measure the quantitative research is the best research than the qualitative research and the vice versa. So to tell you the truth that if we toss the coin, the quantitative and the qualitative, they are two sides of the same coin. Now, if you take 5 rupees coin or 10 rupees coin, you got the head and you got the tail. So head and tail, both of them are important for the coin to be accepted as a legal tender. And if you defigure the head, and then nobody accepts it. And if you defigure the tail also, nobody accepts. So quantitative and qualitative, they can support each other. They can complement each other. They cannot contradict with each other. They cannot compete with each other. So therefore, it is only a perception. If you are as a social scientist, if you would like to do a qualitative research, you're welcome to do, as long as we have so many softwares also that support the qualitative research like Atlas TI, and there are many others. So you try to do proper research, not like copy paste and the cutting pasting kind of thing, but you do the proper research, it would be definitely recognized, it will be rewarded. And only thing is that one has to think that qualitative is more laborious task than the quantitative. As long as you got the data, time series analysis, you feed the data, you work out on the results, you try to analyze the results, and you move on, you explain. That is as far as the quantitative research, particularly in economics, in finance, in maybe some of the psychology and areas are concerned. But qualitative side, maybe in geography or maybe in other aspects of sociology and so on and so forth, although some of the sociologists, they use the hardcore statistics, but still the qualitative is also very much welcomed. And if you collect the data, primary data, your primary data work is more valuable than the secondary data source, because most of the quantitative works are depending upon the secondary sources of data. I think I answered that question, Gauriji.
Thank you, sir. Next question is how to design research questions and objectives for a research, how these differ from each other, by Anup Patwal.
Well, Anupji, I think how to develop a research question. You see, to determine what you wanted to determine, to examine is so kind of soft. To determine, it will give you something harder, something deeper, because you need to identify the determining factors, you need to identify the variables, to evaluate, to assess, to develop. So that's how we try to create the objective. And the questions, the way that we design the questions, they must speak to each other. Your research objective and research questions or hypothesis, they must speak to one another in a very collegial manner, in a cordial manner. If you do not have any relationship between what you are saying in a objective and what your hypothesis and research question says, then you will be going to messing out. You will give a heart attack to your supervisor, and you also will give a heart attack for yourself and everybody. Even after 10 years, some of our colleagues who keep sitting with the same research for 10 years without having any direction. So that is why there are a lot of YouTube videos, ladies and gentlemen. if you want to have any kind of even experimental research, or probably you're looking at maybe the cross-sectional research or longitudinal research or case study approach and cohort and so on and so forth, for everything you got plenty of YouTube videos. Just pick up 2 or 3 YouTube videos, try to listen to them, and maybe listen again. 3 times you listen, you'll have a better understanding, better clarity. A clear mind is better than an unclear mind. Definitely a clear mind will always focus on the clear research problem, and a clear research problem will guide you to have a clear research objectives. A clear research objectives will also ask you to pose the clear research questions. So that is the kind of link, that is the kind of relationship. So we cannot able to de-link. Once you break the de-link, then you have to start all over again, because research is it's like a iron bar. When there is an iron bar, you wanted to prepare a beautiful handicraft, that iron bar. You melt it with 180 degrees or 200 degrees. You try to boil it, and then when it becomes soft, then you can try to modify the design that you would like to have. But the moment when it gets cooler, and you can do nothing with that. So the research is same like that. So in research, when it is soft, when you are hot, when you are trying to achieve your objectives, try to achieve, even it's 2 years or 3 years, try to complete it. You do something else in between, you lose the focus, you lose the interest, and you lose everything. Then you have to start all over again. So I think I answered that question.
Each question is well defined by you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir, for throwing light on the important points of research. As you said, research is a continuous process, and we should devote our time, or at least 35% on this. We will definitely do this, sir. And you said about the research experts Rabindranath Tagore, C.V. Raman, Hargobind Khurana, Mother Teresa, Amritya Kumar Sen, Abhijit Banerjee. They are the Nobel Prize winners in their subjects. You also put the emphasis on publication in top related journals, qualitative and quantitative research. You put emphasis on measuring the research performance, and you also told that motivation by the institution should be given, and we are getting it, sir. And definitely, sir, IoT has made research easy these times. Thank you all. Tomorrow at 11:45, we will have next session on strategic manures for writing and publishing high quality articles in top indexed international journal by Dr. P. Malyadri, ICSSR, Senior Fellow Research Advisor in Commerce and Management Center for Economic and Social Studies. Each session is precious for you. Thank you for today. Thank you so much, sir, for today's session.
Thank you very much, Gauriji, and thank you once again all the participants and the organizers of this event. Thank you. And it's
Thank you so
indeed my
much.
proud privilege to be part of this program.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Daniel sir.
Thank you, Sharmaji. Thank you.